Hi, Chef Mark Olson here, Blackhawk Tech. Today we're going to demonstrate how to clean and cook a fresh artichoke. There's a number of different ways to do it. This is kind of the BTC approved way. Basically what we're going to try and do is get all of these leaves off the outside. We're going to trim the stem, we're going to clean out the choke, and then we're going to place it in some acidulated water, which is just water with lemon juice in it. Fresh artichokes will oxidize when they touch the air, so before you cook it, you need to put it in this acidulated water and then also cook it in there. So let's start first by just cutting off about the top third or so of the artichoke. We'll start to expose the inside, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to peel off the majority of these leaves. Again, there's a couple of different ways to do this. I think with students that haven't cleaned it before, this is probably the most foolproof way. As we start to take off a number of the outside ones, you'll see that they start to change color, start to get a little bit more yellow. That means that they're just a little bit more tender, easier to eat. Now inside here, I'm going to cut a little bit more off. You're going to start to see where the choke starts to form in a kind of a tunnel or kind of a pocket. When it gets to that way, we can do it one of two ways. We can take our paring knife and we can lightly peel some of that off, or you can do it with a paring knife. Again, keeping in mind, I'm going to work rather quickly here. Hopefully you're not going to see the artichoke start to turn brown, but it won't take very long, and it will, especially when I start to expose some of this white flesh here. But what I'm trying to do is get off a little bit of that dark outside of the artichoke, kind of like peeling a stalk of broccoli. The stem is edible. You can already start to see where it's starting to turn a little bit dark. I can use my peeler, take a little bit more off, and go back to peeling some of these leaves off. I can feel in my hand that they're starting to get more tender, they're breaking apart. When I get to this point, I'm going to start to cut it down a little bit. These are to the point where if I was going to eat an artichoke heart, these are edible. I can feel that they're nice and tender. They break into my fingers and they're real easy. What we're going for is the artichoke bottom, which is right here. To do that again, I can take a little bit more of my paring knife and I can trim that off. As I trim some of that off, I can feel with my knife that that was rather tough, and as I get a little farther in, it starts to become tender. And I can feel that right with my knife. And peel a little bit more of that off. Cut it down a little bit. The reason I've done this in stages is so that I don't lose a lot of the artichoke. Inside there, when I cut this open, what you're going to see is a bunch of little furry hairs in there, and I want to get that out. So I use the tip of my paring knife. I can start to open that up. So what I'm doing is I'm using my knife kind of on about a 30 to 45 degree angle, and I'm just going around the outside just till I can see those hairs start to come out. If I'm not real quick at this, what I might want to do is just place that in the lemon water. That'll stop it from turning brown. And I just want to get that last little bit of those out of there. Trim it up nice. And that's my trimmed artichoke. So again, in this demonstration we're looking for just the artichoke bottom, but I could eat the leaves. I could have left that on there and there'd be the artichoke heart, but for our demonstration we just want that. You can cook it whole and serve it whole, or you can cut it in half the long ways and serve it halfway. You could also put this on a mandolin, slice it very thin, make artichoke chips out of it, or saute the artichoke. Again, once it's done, get it right into the acid water. Keep it in the acid water until you're going to cook it. And that's how we pare and cut down our artichoke bottom.